Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hi, how's it going, everybody? Great to see you. We're hanging out. We're gonna play some Last Epoch. We're gonna answer some of your questions. We're gonna have a wonderful time. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. We stream for charity. That's the charity above my head. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat and put at Last Epoch Game in front of there, and I will know it is from you for me. I'll answer it. That's about it. No spiel. I'll tell you right at the top of this. I do want to happy to say we've got the return of stream leaks. I got a couple little things for you later. We'll see how that goes. I'm expecting a little bit lighter of a stream. Not a lot going on right now. Just hanging out, having some fun. Decided I'd start a new character, and it definitely does not have anything to do with me being unable to log into my main right now because of some testing I was doing that caused problems. Yep, definitely nothing like that. So we're level of Beastmaster. I think we do Beastmaster. Maybe we'll do a poll. And you guys can pick what mastery I pick. That does just mean I'll end up shaman. The last like 3 prime lists on stream have been shaman, so I've done that. Everyone's like, see how terrible it is, so you can feel our pain and you'll buff it. I'm like, that's not how this works. That's okay. Happy weekend, Airward. Happy weekend, indeed. Hey, McFluffin. Haven't seen you in a little bit, or I haven't talk to you personally a little bit, but it's good to see you here, and welcome everyone on your stream, and also thanks for the sub, and Dahariel, 36 months for both. That's 3 years. We have people in the 3 years club. Are you guys the first ones? That's incredible. That's really cool. Thank you very much, guys. That's neat. Do we grab the boots? At least they help you run faster, right? Okay. Oh, Paul. Yeah. Let's do it right at the top, and I'll build the whole character with that in mind. Let's do a poll. Three options. Beastmaster, Druid, or Shaman. N. Cograchet. It's like trebuchet with like big cogs. Is that what that is? Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah. Works for me. All right, let's get some questions in here. Hi, I really love you all. Thanks, buddy. Any long-term ideas on how cycles will be handled between online and offline? Will each cycle content be available to fully offline players as well? Or will there be online exclusive stuff like items or content? Our 1.1, at least, is all I can really give finite information, like firm information on. Just because things can change over time, but 1.1 at least, there's nothing that's going to be, as far as I know, there's nothing that's going to be like online specific for the patch. So you should get everything offline at the same time. You should roll it all together. Like you won't have, there's no delay, there's no wait, there's nothing like that. Yeah. Hi, Grail.
Are you all? Name's who's come. Let me watch you fight.
You like the way I fight, do you? I guess we should let the poll finish before I even pick the first ones here. I can always redo it. It's a poll running, guys. There's only 4 votes in the poll. What's going on? More than 4 people here, right? But with regards to like online offline stuff, I could see it being possible. Like I think it's more likely that we would do cycle legacy split stuff than online offline split stuff. But you know, both are possible depending on how things go in the future. But 1.1 at least is I'm pretty sure it's just simultaneous rollout across the board. Show everyone how to get the boots. You gotta actually equip them to get the boots. I got the boots without reading that comment, so same page. Nice. Hope you're not seeding your bingo card there though. That would be just I don't want to think about that. Raptor Beastmaster. Yeah, I would do Raptor Beastmaster. Looks like Beastmaster's winning. I'd be pumped about Raptor Beastmaster. That'd be sweet. Bee Squirrel BM. The bees are hard to get. I don't have and the squirrels. Those are both item dependent. That I don't have either of those items. My cycle live online play is basically limited to what you've seen on stream. It's like a tiny little bit that wasn't. I'll leave my bingo here. I think I'm just gonna ignore that one just on principle because it is calling the bingo out directly. Anything you can tell us about LFG system coming hopefully in the near future? So I don't think there's anything that's scheduled for 1.1 with like an LFG system. Wait until this poll finishes. We're going down for the wolves first. I really like just getting that resistance right out of the gate. My foot is super itchy right now. You know what? Just get some health. I'm always struggling for health at endgame. Always the way it is. LFG systems and the ilk. Oh, heavy! 35 months. Congrats. Thank you very much. That's a big one. Next month. 3 years. Glad to have you with us here. LFG system future. Yeah, the I don't have any details on it. I don't know what's happening or what the plans are regarding with that type of system at all at the moment. So sorry. I'd love to have one though. I know a lot of people got confused whenever we would like make comments about like matchmaking servers and matchmaking services and systems and things like that we were talking about an LFG system, but we're actually just talking about the way that the term that we use for whenever you find a server, it's like matchmaking you with the server, not you with other players. Any plans to make overall mob damage a bit less spiky? Currently it feels like you are either staying at full health or getting deleted in one shot. I feel like an in-between is missing, namely a more gradual curve to damage that gives you some time to react and adjust. Also, dot tick damage feels really fast. Is this intended? Dot ticks, the tick rate is intended to be really fast so that it feels smooth, so it doesn't feel like it's like chunk, chunk, chunk. We want it to be more like a, hey, you're standing in fire and you are constantly burning. That should be a damage over time, not like a chunk every X seconds. As for the spiky comment on damage, I mean, it's definitely difficult to have it scale smooth like that. The outline, the damage numbers that are a little spiky become a lot spiky when you get big scales on the damage rates. I just realized I'm wearing the veterans booth. I'm like, why am I just melting here? It's the boots. We're playing in hard mode. I should have played hardcore.
Well done. We're almost there. I'll see you ahead.
I see this like the damage is too spiky feedback sometimes, and because it's not the first time I've seen this feedback. And usually, not always, but usually when I see it, it is in context of pretty freakishly high corruption. And it does get that point where the like the high, like the super high damage gets, like the gap between like the mid damage range abilities and the super high end damage range abilities that are incoming become like widens because it's percentage based increases. And so you end up with the damage getting spikier as you get into higher corruption.
Impossible.
So when you're in that like 500, 600, 700 corruption, 1,000, 2,000 corruption, it's gonna get crazy spiky. That's just gonna happen naturally. I don't know what we could do about that. There's probably something we could do though.
Feel free to look around. I'll see you shortly.
All right. Is there any development plans for us? Defective colorblind, not defective, just colorblind. It's a difference. Yes, we do have plans. Yeah, we're doing our COF here.
You must be familiar with the science.
Love it. We leveling gear. We got some stuff. See if we can find some things though. It's the veteran boots again. Oh yeah, let's get that spear in. Trying to scan really quickly for just anything we can use. Not really much. Should have organized better. Some stuff. Better than nothing. Woohoo. Yeah, we got colorblind plans. There's several types of accessibility options that we are lagging behind in, unfortunately. But we are working on them. Hello, hi. Are there going to be leaderboards for Legacy, or are they going to limit it to cycle only? I think our current plans are cycle only. I could see us adding some sort of I don't know. I think the plan right now is Legacy only. Alright, will bot online MTX skins ever be available offline? Technical issue that prevents them currently. There's not any... I don't think there's any actual technical limitation that prevents them from happening. Other than like pure offline is pure offline, so it never goes online to check if you own anything, because it never communicates with their servers. So there's that limitation on like pure offline stuff. But for the like when you just play an offline character when you are like signed into the game account, I don't think there's any technical limitations there. Does that mean you are looking at the bingo card and avoiding items? No, I'm not looking at the bingo card. I haven't seen it. I intentionally don't look at it until I see it. I usually see it right at the end of the recap video that Aaron does. There was a question that said, like, maybe it was yours, I don't know, it said like just for the bingo card, and it had like a bunch of like rapid fire questions that we get pretty frequently. That's all. I felt it would go against the spirit of playing a game like that, so I didn't want to ruin the suspense. I believe in you anyways. You guys working on the click-through? Oh, it looks Beastmaster has won with 45% of the votes. Okay, we're going Beastmaster. Good. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. I think Beastmaster's going to go swipe then instead. Are you guys working on the click-through bug where I can click on the player behind the screen? I don't have any information on the status of any sort of bugs here. I'm not personally working on that right now myself. Other people might. I don't know. Oh no! Oh, yes. Thought I could push it. Okay. Next question. Would there be any chance to add a beast encyclopedia into the game? Yeah, a bestiary. I ask because of prophecies and people being unsure what mobs look like or where they spawn. Yeah, that's we've had a bestiary on the list for since long before prophecies were even a thing. I'd say there's a very high chance of us adding one in eventually. It's kind of an extension of the game guide in some way. It is something that we would really like to do. You know, it's just good. These guys, these little guys, the I don't even know what they're called. Quill hogs. Oh, quill hogs. They're called quill hogs. Okay. It's just describing them. It's somewhere in my head I know that name. Okay, those things, they remind me a lot of, do you guys remember in Diablo 2 Act 5, you set off up the mountain and there's those guys that like they put their hands in the ground and like a little like trail goes along and they go like and little spikes appear underneath you. They remind me of those for some reason. All right, gotta ask, any news on the new season? I'm like same news as always. It's gonna be roughly 3 to 4 months from when we launched 1.0. We'll be putting lots of awesome stuff in it. It's gonna be focused around a pinnacle boss system. It's gonna be great, a lot of fun. That's all we got. These boots make this so much harder. I don't think I've ever actually like tried to like seriously level with the boots. Like, no, not shaping, discovery. Fun fact, discovery runes do not use fortune potential. I say this like every time we do this. That helmet went from like bad to just so awful. I think I might take the boots off because this is just so slow. We're gonna take the boots off. Oh, just embarrassing. Okay, moving on. How complicated is it to update the engine to a new version to possibly implement FSR and DLSS, for example? Extremely hard. We've been working on it for months and months and months and months and months and months. And we are, the process is still going. We're like, just starting to like get people loaded up with the new version as like a testing thing in the background while we still work on the old version. Just in the background. It takes a while. It's a very, very long process. And it's gonna be a long time before we actually have a version that's like ready to go to have anything actually like deliverable, to have a version that we can actually build like a release candidate from. It's gonna be a while. Those boots, on the other hand, jackpot. More questions, Mike. Do it while you're doing the boss. Any time frame on UI scaling? It is being worked on. No ETA. Those phoenixes do so much damage. Come on. No, I didn't work, but come on. All right, more questions. Would Yishi ever consider adding rewards to the leaderboard? Say something like 50 MTX coins for first place at the end of the season. Yeah, we would. I think there's this is something I've talked about before. I personally would really like to see a version where there are specific rewards that you can work towards on the ladder. Things that are like specific rewards for competing on the ladder. And I'd like to see, this is just me personally what I want to do. I have no idea what we're going to do in this category at all, but this is how I would envision it. Is having these, like a different currency that you would earn from placing on the ladder, like first place getting a crap ton of them and like 100th place getting very few of them. But still like being able to work towards some special ladder rewards, even if you're not like crushing the top 10 type thing, but being able to get them much quicker if you are crushing the top 10. I've also frequently thought in a system like this where someone might be like, they work super duper hard for a ladder spot and then they quit, like knowing full well they're going to come back next season, but they're just like, okay, I played hard for a month and I'm really happy with it and I'm going to go play another game now. But in the next, like, say 2 months before the next ladder season starts, the next cycle rotates, and like some new builds discovered, some new techniques discovered, and like their rank just gets crushed, but like, and then they like don't get any reward for it, even though they worked so hard when it like was like more arguably like difficult or important or yada yada yada. So I'd really like to see a, like, this is all just like hypothetical gamer Mike talking, not developer Mike talking. I'd really like to see like a cash out system where like maybe you're like third and you're like, I'm never gonna get any higher than this, I'm gonna take my reward, and you can like cash out at third. Maybe it's like a minimum like a month after the cycle starts or something, like I don't know, and that way you get like less reward if you cash out early. So it's like if you cash out at third place you get the reward of 10th place or something, but you're like guaranteed that point and you don't have to worry about getting like dropped down really low. I'd really like to see something like that. That's Mike's wish list. Which means nothing. I should probably actually use Gathering Storm because we are doing we have Elemental Leech here. I should have made a should have made this legendary on my other character. Oh, I can't access it, right? Of course. Alrighty then. It's most like lackluster already than ever. Can I vote for a Poison Serpent Strike Beastmaster just to keep with the play stuff we think is underpowered theme? I mean, I am using a spear right now. I'll consider it. I'll take that under advisement. Might be fun. Just crank the health, right? Any chance we can disable pre 1.0 echo maps? No? Like the layouts? No. The like there's no distinction on our end. I think I just want 1 point here so I can heal my minions if I have to. Here, let's try again. You know, it's better. Somehow. Ding, level up, ding, level up. More questions. Are there any classes that you feel aren't meeting your intended design goals on how they should play? Not really. Like we're talking like mechanically play. I think I'm personally pretty happy with how they all work.
You're here to help protect the sun. The drink. Tread carefully.
There's definitely room for improvement on all of them. And there's like, this is power balance aside. There's, for the most part, I think they're hitting the like desired play fantasies for the most part. I'd really like, I think the one, and this keeps coming up every week, but the one that I think I'd like the most to feel a little different, to play a little different is Forge Guard in the like the representation of like creating versions of your gear and having unique gear be unique gear instead of just the like base versions of them. I think would be a lot of fun to have more special effects and weird interactions on those. So that's what you stay for, right? You stay for the like, oh my god, when you have this like weird when you can like equip like bee weapons and bee gloves and make a manifest armor that's gonna summon a bee army for itself for you, and you know, like something weird like that.
Well, tell you what, let's get out of here first, and then I'll explain more.
So I just got the bee gloves, so we're doing bee build.
If you don't know why it is after us. It ends here.
What boots? These boots. These boots. They make you bad. They make you real bad. Out of curiosity, do you have white squares when you open your teleport map? Not there before your last update. They were there before the last update, and yes, I do have them. And I also fixed them yesterday for a future build. That was a frustrating bug to figure out. My goodness. Required 0 code changes in the end. When LE adds a barbarian mastery, thoughts on dual wielding two-handed? Maybe you take more damage but are slower, some negative trade-off. I'd love to. I think that there's a lot of thematic space for there's a whole balance and technical side of this that makes it quite difficult, but I'd love to try it still. But there is I think a big thematic space for that barbarian class, that like that the really strong, beefy, like just pure strength archetype, I think is still a little bit missing. Like pure strength archetype. And in the sense, like there's no dual wielding two-handers, there's no dual wielding shields, there's no two-handed shields. You know, there's some of these like really large representations of strength that in like a character design and character archetype that we don't really have access to yet. But yeah, I think there's we pretty intentionally left some gaps in theming. We tried to like cover as many broad archetypes as possible, and leave some like really specific individual archetypes available for us to like sneak some extra stuff in there later. Like there's no crossbows in the game, there's no fist weapons in the game, there's no one-handed spears in the game, there's no dual wielding two-handers. You know, like there's these like pretty clear things you can find in other games that aren't like the primary. It's not like sword and board is missing, it's not like daggers are missing, like the bows are missing. You know, like there's some, but there's definitely some intentional gaps for future expansions of characters. Hi everyone. Hi Spike. Hey, and we've got, because I missed it earlier, I think these are muted somehow. Open. I'm just F. That's fine. TSU Kiko 420. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. And Mr. Ben Diesel. I like that. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. And MacMergs, 13 months in a row. Glad to have you with us. Hope you all are having fun. All right, bit of a side topic. I like side topics here. I'm in a rambly mood today. Any plans on making a Twitch extension that shows the current streamer's gear skill setup? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Do we have time to do this? Do we know when we're gonna do this at all? No. You know, that's a someday feature. Will there be more items to change Wraith Lord to more damage types like Void? We don't have any plans for it at the moment. It's possible. If you have a suggestion, head to the forums. Right. That shouldn't matter. If you stop playing, you stop playing. Yeah, so I understand the, like, this is going back to what I was saying about like being able to like cash out your rank reward spot. I agree that there's that the final rankings is the most important thing. Could use the map. And that's kind of why I was suggesting like having like a down ranking version of cashing out early. They're probably like this is just me rambling and chatting type thing. So like they probably would need to have, if we're gonna explore this idea, there would probably need to be like a maximum rank that you could like cash out at. So like to the point where like maybe top 10 is the, like, even if you're in first, the highest you can cash out is 10 or something like that. I don't know. If we are gonna go Serpent Strike's Dex, isn't it? Is it Dex attunement? No, it is Strength Dex. Okay. Grab point in Strength.
Impossible.
There's no, for the record, there are no plans to do any of those things I was saying. This is just like Mike's wish list. All right. Any chance of rogues getting one-handed crossbows, hypothetically speaking, they'd be usable with a catalyst? Yeah. We don't have any specific plans for new item types, new base item types in 1.0 or 1.1. So there's no hand crossbows coming. Sorry. I think hand crossbows are on the list of future weapon types to expand into. I think that the implication is that you don't, because like it's a hand crossbow, the implication would be dual wieldable, probably with a talent point or something. That you wouldn't need to have a specific thing in your offhand for it. So there's no like bow quiver type allocation. Maybe a crossbow would do that, but I think hand crossbows are meant to be self-contained in that one unit. So if we did in the future add something like that, I think it would likely be kind of wide open for offhand options. Yeah. Could just put Gathering Storm in until we get to Serpent Strike. If we're gonna do that. Sure. Let's just do attack speed for now. Those unlock at way longer range coming up. Oh my god, I can't wait. Don't even know what it does. But it's a ring with 4 affixes on it. Alright. Any idea if more work is going into filters? Yes. Would like to see, for example, option for no sound prompts for exalted that don't make it through a filter, or option to turn on exalteds being shown on the minimap. Yeah, we don't have the... I know neither of those things are coming, but there is loot filters changes coming. Amulet. Another ring. Take those. I've been watching Zelda speedruns. That's what that's coming from. It's funny. Comment if you know who it is I've been watching from that line. We take those. Maybe other people say it too. For the future, would you rather see new base classes and masteries added, or would you prefer additional new skills added to the existing from dev and a player perspective, assuming this is one or the other situation? If it was a one or the other situation, I would want to see new skills added to the existing classes, which I know might be a little counterintuitive, but I think that there is I think there's a lot of really interesting things that can go with the things that already exist. And if we we're never allowed to add a new base class, or never allowed to, like, if it was you're never allowed to add a new base class, or you're never allowed to add new skills to an existing class, I'd rather never add a new base class, because you can always kind of like make new archetypes in existing classes, but you can't update old archetypes if you can't change them. But for the record, we're doing both, so it's hypothetical. Any plans on adding more Echo tileset map types? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like most updates for the last year have come with new updates to those. So yeah, continuing to do so. I say most of them, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't think 1.1 will have much. It might have a couple, but I don't think there's many there. We're spending most of the time in 1.1 on that pinnacle boss system. Two questions. All right, good thing. Everybody only gets two. Just kidding. Any plans on refining Merchants Guild? The search inquiries. Yes. I hope they use the word right. Yeah. For players getting more specific in what they want. Part 2, workflow in regards to next cycle going well. Yes, it is. That pinnacle system sounds exciting, not gonna lie. Part 3, oh, you lied, I thought it was just the 2. It's okay, the first 2 were close enough. Wait, part 3? Ah, yes, you've acknowledged it. Favorite mastery class and why? I'm a sucker for a rogue. I love it. That's why you see me playing rogue on stream so much. So like new is always better. The thing I've been working on the most lately is Falconer. So Falconer gets the nod for me right now. Although the tester character that I've been running for the pinnacle stuff is a necromancer. I'm having a ton of fun there. I'm quite excited to play this Beastmaster. So okay, we're picking up work, right? No question. there seemed to be a discrepancy in number of skills per class and subclass. Yes, that is true. Can you confirm whether or not all classes and subclasses will each have the same number of skills? I can. They will not. We originally set out to have them all be the same, and for 4 years we were operating and designing new skills and planning out the skills we were going to add with a very strict intention to basically Shaman's missing one. Like this, if Shaman had one more skill here, actually it'd be right here, the 35 level skill for Shaman. If Shaman had a 35 level skill, Shaman would be the perfect representation of our launch plans, what they were 4 years ago. Or actually, we changed them probably. Anyways, we wanted every class to have the same number of skills, and that this was the amount we were looking for. We actually were going to have one more in these, and we dropped these down to 5 from 6, and added 4 more down here. So it was actually 1 more skill overall per class, but they're just distributed a little differently. So that was the shift I was talking about. But anyways, yes, we had planned them all to be the exact same. And we were kind of like looking at the logistics of everything, and we're like, if we want them all to be the exact same, we're gonna have to like squish in a couple skills. Like Rogue's got to have like 4 really low budget skills that are just gonna bring down the quality and either be broken, overpowered, or never get used because they just didn't like come out right and they won't look very good. And so we're like, that's a terrible option. And then we're like, okay, do we remove skills from other classes so they're the same? That's a terrible option. And then we're making Rune Master, and we're like, we need another skill for Rune Master. That's when Frostclaw got created. Frostclaw was originally an invocation, a Rune Master invocation, and it got moved into its own skill because we needed that spammable, low cost, early access cold ability. And we're like, okay, so then Mage got an extra skill on base class up here. So Mage has this like extra skill just hanging out up here, and there was no room. Mage is a full suite +1. So we like we were like, we can't take any of these skills out. We didn't want to take any of these skills out. And we don't like, now we just added a whole other one to bring everyone else up, and it was just a mess. So we're like, you know what? One of the main design pillars that we have for Last Epoch is class identity. And having every class have the same number of skills and the same distribution of skills homogenizes them to some degree. It's very minor. It's very minor, and it's really not that big of a deal. But like, if we're really going to be pushing this class identity as one of our design pillars, like, let's lean into it. Let's have one of the things that's unique about each class be just the number of skills on them. And so we kind of leaned into that a little bit, embraced it a little bit. So Mage now does have the most skills, and that is intentional. And we don't have any plans to specifically like change the number of skills that Mage has or anyone else has, just to try and make it even. Having said all of that, the classes with less skills in general are generally the ones that are earlier up for new skills to be added, mostly just because there's less options, there's more gaps, there's new things that we want to add in, and they have less skills there, so it is it's easier to find those gaps. What's going on? Never mind. Sorry. Been testing 1.1, and something that's coming 1.1 wasn't happening, and I'm like, I thought that was here. What is going on? No, it's not. I'm just an idiot. It's fine. Everything's okay. I thought it was gonna be Falcon for a second. I'm like, Kestrel. This used to be called the Falcon, and when we added the Falconer and the Falcon, we had to rename this to a different bird. Prism Rep's so good.
Which, speaking of, let's head back to camp. I must
Okay.
clean at once.
Alrighty then. Come for the mechanics, stay for the weird. It should be a tagline. Talking of which, do you still have your train whistle around? I do. I love that thing. It's so simple. All right, can't wait for next season. Me too.
Eterra's blessing. Prayers be with you.
Why, thank you, good sir.
He's back. He's been quiet.
You're back. No, Lena. I'm sorry.
Sorry if you wanted the storyline properly. All right, for the ranking idea, some middle ground could be introduced tiers for X days at certain ranks. Oh, that's cool. I like that idea. Yeah, I really like that idea, actually. I think that solves a lot of the problems with the original crap I was spouting. And then like a bonus at the end. So like if you finish on top, you get like a big bonus. But like if you spend a week at rank 1, you get a bunch of points or something. I don't know. Like income from it. That'd be weird. I think it'd be fun though. I think it'd be good. What do we got? We're being super just like, all right, just pick a item. A green number's good, right? That's how we're doing this. And we're not reading quests. We're not paying attention. Yeah, so good. Did I
And who are you?
cause a problem by leaving before it triggered? Isn't that... Did I... Nope, it's not that. It's this. Shift. Cool. That's how we fix that bug. I did. This is like the prime example. I am the poster child for why you should actually read just anything.
Is this place?
Not embarrassing at all.
They are in
Let's get next question. Do you plan on adding items that trigger its own skills when equipped? That trigger its own skills when equipped. You mean like items that like add a skill, like that give you another skill on your bar and you can specialize in it? Because we do have lots of skills that trigger, lots of items that trigger their own abilities. Like for example, there's like Dragon Song, triggers a fire ability. You know, there's lots of Alluvian triggers a water ability, I think. You know, there's lots of stuff that does that. It would be nice to set 2 affix ranges in the loot filter, like show X items with tiers X or 7 and Y affixes and 3. Oh yeah. It's a little on the granular side, I think. Probably a little too granular. Considering we are encouraged to repeatedly fight the Shade of Orbis with all characters, why are the main rewards the ring, built for damage type? It's barely used outside Void Knight. I mean, I don't think that we expect, like, how to say this? The people, even Void Knights, aren't primarily getting their gear from that one encounter. It just happens to have, I think, an overlap with that. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, really, but it is. You do bring an interesting point, like that. Should bosses that are more frequently expected to be fought, should they have more generically useful equipment? debatable. I don't know. All right, this is more of a business question. I'll do my best, but as a company, Ishi seems committed to not have pay-to-win mechanics. Yes, like paying for stash space and things like that. It may be the least monetized ARPG I've ever seen. How have you made that work? What where other companies haven't? Well, I think we probably have. So like, if we're gonna compare ourselves to the other ARPGs that are like really active right now, and I think that a lot of them are built. So like, let's look at Diablo 4 for a second compared to us, as like company structures. There's so much more overhead that goes into to Blizzard making Diablo 4 than there is for HG making Last Epoch, because like they have this gigantic office space and all this overhead of stuff there. Like everyone works from home with Last Epoch, so like there's a lot less, I guess, like corporate overhead that's for like payments and stuff like that, and like there's it's you end up with different products, you end up with different games, which is good and pretty obvious thing to say. I don't know why I said it, but like yeah, like we I think we just have less expenses really to pay for on that front. And then like you look at like us compared to PoE, and there's really not a lot of differences there. The big difference being stash tabs and stuff like that. And I think the bulk of players who are playing PoE end up spending probably a pretty similar amount on stash tabs as just our base game price. Like that's probably, I bet that's probably a pretty similar number. And so it's kind of like the base stash tab bundle is sort of just like the sticker price of the game. Sometimes that gets said. I don't know if I think that's directly equatable. But because like they are free to play, there's a little bit different monetization that happens there, but I don't think it's over the top at all either. And then once again, they do have a lot more overhead than we do as well, because it is a like they have a proper studio and everything. We're just everyone's hanging out at home still. So yeah, I think it comes down to like overhead a lot of the time.
Farewell.
That box had it coming. But like we do try to make as good a product as we can, so people do want to buy it and do want to spend money on it, because it is a business, and we do try and like incentivize people to spend money, because by making a really good product, like that's how every business works, I guess. I don't know. You make something people want to buy, and then you offer to sell it to them. That's how business works, right? I think. Shows how much I know, but it's a good thing I'm just a coder. But yes, we are very committed to not having pay-to-win stuff, and I think a lot of that just comes from, a lot of us started out as, even like 10 years ago, a lot of us were like strictly gamers and didn't have dev experience really, even as just 10 years ago, and a lot of us did as well. So a lot of them did. But yeah, coming from just playing games for the most part, you kind of, I guess, get in the mentality of like making a game of what you want yourself first. And I'm sure like there was a way to have a successful business for plan without charging any money, which is insane. That would be cool too. I wouldn't hate that. Yes, that's me fumbling my way through a business-related question because I have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's move on to stuff I do know what I'm talking about. Any chance to ease or relax ban and suspensions? I have some friends that were banned permanently for what they assume was RMT. I think permanent suspensions on a one-time thing is kind of harsh / excessive. No. I don't know every situation, so I could be very wrong on this situation that your specific friends are experiencing, and there could be some outlier cases. All of the bans that I've seen happen,
What brings you here?
that I've been a part of identifying and such have been very excessive, like very excessive. The ones I've seen, all the ones I've seen, I have very little sympathy for to the levels that it was taken for the bans that were told out. We have identified one, because this came up on Reddit like a little while ago. We did identify one false positive that happened, and the ban did get reversed. So it is not impossible if a false positive does happen. So far, I only know of one of those that's happened. I didn't expect it to either. I was pretty like going into that. I'm like, there's no way this is real. There's no way it was actually a false positive. And yeah, it was. What other endgame ideas can you possibly elaborate on other than pinnacle bosses? I mean, there's not really much that's available that I can talk about. A lot of the endgame development that's coming is stuff that we're like, still, it's a little bit of experimental stuff that we're like, we've got to implement it, we've got to test it and see if it's fun, and then we got more work to do on it to like flesh it out. And one mistake we've made in the past is talking about potential upcoming endgame systems, and you know, if you go back and look at the Kickstarter, there's 3 endgame systems that have names on that Kickstarter that we've never implemented.
Only a little longer.
Here's something, I guess. Here's one for you. One of those names we've decided to repurpose, which tells you literally nothing. But we're using one of those names again as a different thing. Like, this is quite a ways out. Next year.
Only a little longer.
Alright. Pinnacle boss is gonna be sweet though. I'm a software dev, and I get a real kick out of looking back at some system design / implementations I've done. That I think are particularly sweet. Is there anything in particular that you look back at and think, "If yeah, that was awesome"? I mean, it's all buried in the skill systems for me personally. But yeah, there's lots of different skill interactions. I think the Rune Master has a lot of that in there for me, and all the new skills stuff. I look at fondly with how it works.
What? Go on then. Bah.
You. Now, we thought every the gods have long left this world.
Give me some idols,
Their memory
please.
will give you comfort.
Oh yeah.
Be
What?
safe, traveler.
That's pretty good too, actually. My voice. All right. All right. Throw it on the. So I threw it on the ground. 'Cause I'm an adult. 4 points. Yeah. We'll go all the way to Serpent Strike. Talking about money, more MPX when my credit card has big itch. Yeah, we're I'm sure there'll be some new MPX stuff with 1.1, some new cosmetics. Yeah, nothing like. I don't think there's any new bundle packs coming. I'm not sure on that one, but I'm sure there'll be some individual MTX stuff that'll shop. All right, cycle/seasonal player activity drop-off has been a hot topic. Yeah. Recently, have you guys perhaps considered releasing cycle content in phases, perhaps dynamically? For example, phase 1 may affect the content release in phase 2, etc. Almost like a choice-driven titles, if that makes any sense. Like, no, I don't think we have. A big part of it is leading up to and releasing a large content patch takes a lot of dev time. There's a lot of things that that happen in the lead up to that and in the aftermath of that, which it takes a lot of dev time. And if we add in, as we add in more major releases, we reduce the amount of total stuff that can get done. So if we went from say we were doing let's say we're doing three major patches a year. Let's just hypothetically say that's the number, and then we change that and we're like, okay, instead we're gonna do 2-stage cycles every time and release them kind of like in a grouping together as like a pair, and we end up with 6 cycles per thanks, Carve. We end up with 6 cycles per year, and we've just doubled the amount of like release focus time that we have to spend on the game as a whole. And so those 6 cycles a year are going to get less content in total than the 3 cycles a year would. And you're also going to see, I think, more complete systems that have, more depth and better integration with other systems and more interesting interactions, and that just come out with more polish as well. And so I think that there's this balancing act between how frequently we release content and how much content we can release total, that overall for the health of the game long term is more what we're focused on than just getting more people to play longer in the short term. Because there also are a lot of other there's a lot of other games as well that people play on a cycle, like the flip-flop back and forth between, and we sort of expected that to happen. And yeah, the player counts we're seeing right now are not concerning to us at all, if that makes you feel any better. I think you'll see probably a little bit as we release more content, and like, so new cycles start, so we've got like the 1.0 content, and then 1.1 content, then 1.2 content, 1.3 content, and there's just like a little bit more stuff, a little bit more fun things to do in the game, and there probably isn't 3 to 4 months worth of fun stuff to do in the game for most people right now. But we still need 3 to 4 months to release a really solid next cycle, and in a little bit more time, more people will find more content it's actually fun and engaging. So we don't want to stretch that playtime artificially. We want people to finish playing Last Epoch for we want people to play Last Epoch and set it down for a few months and come back later excited to play again because they really had a lot of fun with what they were doing. And what one thing that artificially inflating the time people are playing could do is maybe they stick around for a little bit longer. The play numbers look a little bit better, but they don't actually have as much fun while playing the game. And so when they do come back, or when they remember it, they think back and like, oh, should I play next cycle, that sort of thing. It's less of a good memory, and they're less interested in coming back. So we'd prefer people to, at least on the short term, anyways, probably play like if we had to pick between, we probably would prefer people to play a little bit less now and be excited to come back for the next cycle, than play a little bit more now and be less interested in coming back for the next cycle. I mean, perfect world, people would just have a ton of fun and play a long time and be super interested in coming back no matter what. But like, if we had to pick, and every player is different, so like we're not just making the game for one type of player, and so there's a big balancing act that happens there. More questions, Mike. Don't forget to answer questions while you're playing. Right, thanks, Mike. Any chance? Oh gosh, don't die. First goal. That would be good. Any chance the Dancing Strikes tree node rhythm will be looked into at some point? There's issues where sometimes it doesn't proc the stack going up despite clearly hitting. This combined with it having such a short duration makes it very unreliable to keep it up. It's very possible that someone could be looking at that. It's very possible someone could have already looked at that. I don't know. I don't have any information on the status of bugs currently. If you have not reported that, please go report it. And it'll get added to the list.
Stop him.
What? Go on then.
I do get a reward. But we ain't taking off our bee gloves. We're doing poison. We don't want any of that. Stick here.
Impossible.
Gods be with you.
I don't think we can get through down there yet, can we?
Stay safe. I should click on it. It would be cool on the monomap screen if the corruption tentacles slowly covered the screen. The more you get, eventually almost covered, except for the ounce. They do. They expand outward. I can't go to it right now because I'm not in there. But yes, the design that's there, it does. It starts small and then it reaches out based on how much corruption you have. It peaks, I think, at 300, maybe even 200. Overhead is definitely part of the equation, but also there are no shareholders right now. That's not true. As the issue is not a publicly traded company, it's not publicly traded, but there are shareholders. You don't have to be publicly traded to have shareholders. So you don't have to worry about dividend, and you don't, and just having shares doesn't necessarily mean there's dividends either. Sorry. Yeah, you can have shareholders without being publicly traded, and you can have shareholders without dividends too. All right. Has anyone found the secret B level yet? No one has found it yet. No. Hey, last stream I watched. I can't do this. There's no secret B level, and I know me wording it like that makes it even worse. the gem, the chat gem in Diablo 2. When you're outside of a game, when you're like in the lobby and there's like the chat gem right in the middle that you can click and it like says in chat like the gem has been activated. I love that. I love that so much, and how many rumors came from that, and how many like superstitions came from that. Like you always activate chat before going in for this type of run. You never activate the chat gem for going in this type of run, and like it's so silly. The stuff that we come up with for things like that mean literally nothing. I just think it's pretty cool. We do, if anyone doesn't know, I won't spoil it in case someone doesn't want to know the truth, but the truth is out there for what that is. That has been spoiled officially by the person who did it. She shared exactly when she did it. Actually, I think her husband told us when she did it, but yes. Tons of information on who it was right there. All right. Next question. Hey, last stream I watched, there was a hint at a secret no one found. Can you elaborate, lol? Yes. That it was found. It was found really quickly. Actually, Perry the Pig made a video of it. It was. He had previously done an Easter egg video that like went into like what Easter eggs are in the game, that sort of stuff, and had been researching that a ton and found the voice lines in the files for the Easter egg. So he already knew kind of what he was looking for, which I think made finding it a lot easier. And I think there was a couple. I think the hints we gave kind of pushed it over the edge to help, push in the right direction, sort of thing. And so what it is because there's Perry the Pig has a full video on this, you can see it in action, and I can explain it all right now in full detail because it has been spoiled. So if you don't want to know what this is and you want to try and find it yourself, turn the stream off now. Spoiler alert, over. Okay, so if at the Lightless Arbor dungeon, just before the last room, there is a Spriggan who you would have met throughout that dungeon, and they'll say something like oh, it sucks that I'm gonna die, or like maybe you can plant me somewhere else type thing, and gives you like a little piece of themselves to plant, like a la Groot style. And if you then after you've had that conversation, if you then go to the end of time, just above the respec person, the big brain dude at the bottom, there's a little grassy area at the base of some roots, and you just click in there. You don't have to click, you can just hold your mouse cursor down and just like walk around in there. A little message will pop up and it's like, you planted the stick there. And then if you can manage to, you can come back. This is the hard part. So that's one of the clues I said, was that the second half is really, really hard to do online, but super easy to do offline. Here's why. The second half requires a fresh version of End of Time to load. So when a fresh version of End of Time loads, if the person loading it has had the first part of this chain completed, the Spriggan will have grown and an NPC will be standing there. So in online, if you want that to actually spawn, you have to the person who creates who like opens a new communal End of Time hub has to have had that first part of that quest done. So if you go to End of Time and there's someone already there, or it's a version of End of Time that already was created by someone else, it won't spawn. But if you can somehow be the person to spawn a new End of Time, basically just by warping in and out of End of Time over and over again, eventually you will spawn the Spriggan standing there, and you can talk to it. It's got a couple little voice lines and dialogue stuff. Now, if you do in online, if you do manage to spawn that version, the Spriggan's actually there for everyone in the zone. So even people who haven't done the quest get to see it. In offline, because you always make a new zone every time you enter, it just works every time. So in offline, you just gotta leave and come back in, and it's there. Also, I don't know, I kind of scrubbed through the video Perry made, and there was some stuff about like getting like a water shrine and watering it. As far as I know, that's not part of it. So sorry if you did extra steps there, bud. Alright. Do you have any new info about Forge Guide and or buffs for it? I do not have any new info about Forge Guide and or buffs to it. Sorry. Alright, yeah, I agree with the bans for sure. I just feel like permanent bans, the first offense are kind of harsh. I'll never be able to play with those friends again, essentially seeing as how evading bans, how you make another account, are also against COS. They played for around a month and then got permanently banned. It kind of feels bad. I can understand that. I don't really want to say anything that might give any hope because I have no power in the on the topic. So I my personal opinions on it don't really matter when it comes to what potentially could happen there. And like I totally feel where they're coming from. It's a very difficult question to answer about how harsh a punishment should be for whatever action it is. And I don't have all the details on what the actions were and all that sort of stuff. So it's really hard to have a conversation on the topic. And you know, like I think there's a world where there are certain levels of and not all bans are permanent, as far as I know. I think the RMT stuff is pretty permanent, though. I think that's one of the categories that's kind of like no. All right, current position check-in 1403. Oh, we're not that far behind. 1419. Appreciate you, Kane. Ding. Alright, you mentioned before that beating Corruption 300 is when you guys consider it a successful build. Given the players learn mechanics, does that mean a build can beat 300 Corruption, can beat a Pinnacle boss? I definitely am not going to tie the Pinnacle boss difficulty to Corruption right now at all. I'm sorry. That is super not happening for me right now. I hope we will be able to have some rough idea of that. There is a very large, at least in the current version of it, there is a very significant skill component to the Pinnacle boss. Even in an incredibly powerful build, it is still difficult. Like, do we try and go like I could respect this a bit and go like full minion damage to try and use that, but I kind of want to do half and half with Serpent Strike, and it does count for strength, so we're gonna do there. Does the minion it spawns scale off strength at all? I don't remember. I thought it was Dex. I thought it was like the one weird, like, I'm a Dex build. There it is. No, it's too low. It cuts off. Why is it doing that? Oh, that is frustrating. The anchor point's set wrong. Oh. That is frustrating. I know exactly how to fix that. Okay. But it does scale strength, so that's good. Which is all we really care about knowing. It is as I suspected. I just want to make sure. I get mixed up sometimes on these things. The hardest part for me with these is keeping track in my head of like how the game is now and how the game is on the development side of things. There's so many times when I'm playing on stream especially, and like I'll go to like okay, I've got this node in my head that I'm gonna use that node, and like I'll be building the tree out, and I'll get there and I'm like, oh wait, that interaction doesn't exist yet. What am I doing? And the tree just looks so janky. And then I'm usually like, don't say anything, they'll know it's coming. Sometimes if you see me make horrible mistakes in skill trees, spoilers. Or I just suck, one of the two. Alright. When, for the love of all that is good, will I be able to reset all my passive points at once? I don't know. I hope real soon. It is quite frustrating, I agree. What do you it's not set up yet, I'll tell you that much. What do you think about Forge Guard's skill that lets the player combine the manifest armor and forge weapon a la Iron Man? I mean, yeah, there's some cool stuff there. We kind of already do like some touches on that with the weapon node that's in manifest armor. I think what could be like could be a really cool thing to do, and this is not something that we're doing, but personally I would love to see more skill to skill interactions. Like how cool would it be, I'm phrasing this way, how cool would it be if like the manifest armor could like, because the manifest weapons do have a pretty limited duration, the manifest armor sticks around, so like if a manifest armor could like go run up to like pick up a manifest weapon and it, like double its duration and like uses it as a weapon, and then like it like crumbles out of its hand and it has to go pick up another one. I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's not something we're doing, you know, like the skill interactions we have are pretty limited still. We do not have the tech for that, but I would love to have something like that. Like, that sounds so cool to me.
Eterra's grace be with you. Take care of yourself.
Wait, what is this forge action? Let's explore it. Yes, the deeps are mine. You can just use tagging me rather than use a message. Emphasis, by the way. Yes. Oh, sorry, I missed that because it was highlighted. I ignored the highlighted ones, apparently. I probably shouldn't do that. Sorry. And I just, I already answered it, so great, never mind. When is the next cycle? I missed the answer. Sorry if you answered this before. The next cycle will start roughly 3 to 4 months after February 21st. That's our rough general cycle duration is 3 to 4 months. We don't have any more specifics on that yet. We do have an internal target for it, and once we are confident in that release date and it's getting a little closer, we'll start having some more teasers and having some more stuff that sprinkles in and more info and maybe get a date in there eventually. But yeah, right now we are, I think we're somewhere in the 1 to 2 month range. We're about halfway through, a little more than halfway through, I think, roughly ish. One thing that bugged me was that somewhere in the campaign, certain quests conversations stopped having voiceovers. Any plans to finish all of them? Could potentially use Gen AI going forward to generate in all the localizations since it's getting better and better. I don't think we have any plans to use AI for something like that at the moment. It's an interesting proposition. I'd be really concerned. We've already had issues with localization quality, and I'd be really concerned with using an automated system like that to generate content for localization, given that we've already had quality issues with non-auto-generated stuff, which we are working to remedy and improve on for sure as well. But yeah, I'm hesitant, but not completely against, I think would be my stance on that. But yes, we are working. Like voice acting is one of the main tasks we have that we keep adding to. So yes, we are doing more voice acting work on the game still in general. Guys, what are you? Made of armor or something? Of the ox. Yes, it is possible to have shareholders without being publicly traded and without a dividend, but a publicly traded company, there is a financial responsibility to the shareholders. So you still need a higher net earnings so you can meet the shareholder demand. Microsoft did not pay a dividend until the 2000s, but up until their initial rate of return was 30%, so their responsibility was met. Yes, and you do, even if you don't have dividend payouts, you do still have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders. So if like management decided to go buy a fleet of horses to race each other on, it would be it'd have to answer to the shareholders. So there is still some like basically, as long as you're not doing anything ridiculous and completely out of the realm of realistic, okay, you're generally okay. But there is still a limit to that, so you're not completely carte blanche without those shareholders and payouts and dividends and all that sort of stuff.
Gods. Eterra watch over you.
I guess all I'm trying to say is that like we do have a responsibility to still make good business decisions right now, even without the that pressure. But I agree that there is more pressure when it is publicly traded and you have dividends. So yeah, like it's definitely a spectrum for sure, and we're low on that right now. But we're not just straight like whatever we want. And to like the same extent, I think we have a responsibility to all of you who want who want to play this game in 10 years. You know, like in order for you to be able to play this game in 10 years, we have to make good business decisions still. Went in too early. I was trying to jump in there. One thing that I think gets missed a lot is, so you fight the three Panion students, and they each have similar like elemental abilities that that Panion has. So he's got this ability that creates like a lightning bubble that one of the students has, and there's like the cone of cold type thing that one of them has, and then he puts like a void twist on a lot of them because he's been fully corrupted by the void himself. What is RMT? RMT is a real money transaction. It's basically paying money for in-game things, pay to win. It's usually referred to RMT as third-party RMT. Is sort of the implied other half of RMT stuff, where people are like paying a website for gold, that sort of thing.
You fought well.
Oh my goodness, there's only 30 minutes left in the stream. How did that happen? I brought things and stuff. Okay, let me show you the stuff and the things that I brought. At least one of them. Sorry, guys. Whoa! Oh, I've ruined it. I accidentally hit stretch to the screen instead of center on screen. And it became ginormous. It's so pretty big. Here's a thingamabobber. Not to be confused with a who's it or what's it. Oh, Serpent Strike. We got Serpent Strike. That's right, Serpent Strike. Yeah. Serpent Strike. Our experience timing is so perfect here. This is like the poster. I know you can't see me. Sorry, I do know it's still out there. This is like the poster child for end of time experience scaling and level. Oop, put it down there for a second. So I just got my 20th passive point, which is the minimum amount of points you need to put points here, since it requires 20 points in primal space, which is something that, like, I don't know how we can make that more clear, but it's there. Anyways, it was the exact number of passives I need to start spending points in a mastery tree right as I unlock my mastery.
You've woke. I can't. If then close your eyes and focus on.
We're going
the
BM.
idea that you are still you. That strength will be necessary if our world, our reality, is to have any hope.
Let's go. Gotta get that spear equipped again. Doesn't have to be that spear necessarily, but we're doing it. We're doing Serpent Strike. We're doing Raptor. We are respecking everything. Going right back to square one. Full sail flip. Raptor. Serpent Strike. Does this have poison? I'm pretty sure it doesn't have any poison in it. We should do Scorpion, not Raptor, for doing poison. It's okay, we'll switch from Raptor to Scorpion, or maybe we'll do both. Once we get there, but for now, choose 2 dots. Rampage is just itself, right? Just get that base damage up. We want to go up here. Yeah, there we go. All right.
Why? Thank you. There is an.
We only play bad builds here.
Stay safe.
Greetings.
I feel like there's like,
May Eterra smile upon you.
oh crap, this is how little I know. There's like some sort of like Taylor Swift parody about bad builds in there. I can hear it. Someone who's better at music do that. All right, moving on. I feel like I'm a little behind, so I'm going to try and crank out some questions here. Community seems to suggest that Sorcerer is kind of underpowered compared to the other 2 subclasses. Do you agree? Is there any changes to 1.1 to handle the issue? It is, I think that there's, the other 2 are probably better right now. I don't want to like get into a balanced discussion there. I don't know if it's the end of the world if one of them's like a little bit worse than the others. I don't know. I don't know how much worse or better it is. And oh my god, our damage is like terrible all of a sudden. Like we weren't even that spec'd into it. Okay. we've got to do something to fix. We got to get a better weapon on here. We've got to get better affixes because this is just brutal right now. Also got a wolf out without a wolf on our bar. Uh-oh. I know I say I don't take stuff from stream, but I check that out. I don't know if there's any major changes to Sorcerer coming 1.1. I think Rune-Master is naturally going to be more intriguing because of the complexity level that's there for a lot of players. Yeah, there's it's hard to talk about this. You know, some stuff that's happening. It's not nothing. Sorry. Same anchor point issue with the items in stash. Please check those as well. They're the same items. Do you know why my cat will exclusively curl up in my lap while I'm playing your game? She leaves me alone the rest of the time. You get so absorbed in the game because you're having so much fun that you're more calm and still than normal. So the cat can it just feels more relaxed and able to. It probably thinks that you're focusing on it instead of whatever you're normally. Or yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about animals. I'm sorry. Okay, more questions. Any other platforms planned for LE, and also where's the possible transmog system? Also, is there a possible transmog system coming in the future? More platforms are something we are vaguely working towards. We don't have any specific timelines on that at the moment. It's something we're working on. I don't have any details on what they could be. Blind. Ugh. Ugh. A little better. Any plans on boosting HP since we have a ward rework? Since we are having a ward rework. I don't know where you got that information from. I don't think we ever said ward rework. Just to be clear. IMO HP needs some rework too. Very hard to build HP versus resist and endurance to fight harder corruption. Well, I mean, so HP and it is like you need HP to go with resist and endurance because like endurance directly scales off HP. Yeah. I don't have any details on. I should get these things. I don't have any details on potential upcoming balance changes. I'm sorry. And that attack speed boost. Oh my goodness! It tripled our damage. Nuts. Love it. All right. Leaks. Yeah. You want more, don't you? Okay. My point is that financially the responsibility of ESG is less than that of a AAA studio based upon size and market share. You have less overhead, less payoff payroll due to less employees and maybe even lower salaries, less shareholder responsibility as you are not paying dividends, etc. Yes, that is all true. Looks like an elite chat gem. Did you try the new Fallout 4 next gen update that was released yesterday? What's your stance on patches that break mod support? I don't know. I feel like this is a bit of a bait of a question. I have not played it. I read one article on it. It's actually really funny. I read about it, that it was coming a while ago. Completely forgot about it. I actually just got like a new controller to play games on our TV in the living room, and I was like, my wife's never played Fallout 4, so I like just loaded Fallout 4 up. I'm like going through like finding all. I'm like, oh, I used to have this mod. Oh, I used to have this mod, and I'm just like, I'm like going through setting up all the mods, everything like that. And I like just got it working 2 days ago. Like just got it working, and then saw the news article about the new next gen support coming out. I'm like, oh, that worked for nothing. It's gonna break all the mods, isn't it? And then I saw, yes, it's breaking all the mods. I mean, so like, I guess I'm expecting it to break all the mods. Thank you very much, Airweird, for the 3 gifted subs to the channel. Congrats to everyone who got one of those. Yes, I mean, anytime like you do something that breaks it, it's bad, right? Like that. I don't think that's a controversy. I don't think they were trying to break any mods. But I think it's kind of to be expected because it's I don't think you can really expect Bethesda to like take like a lot of care to intentionally like do things to like fix or to like make it mod compatible and sort of stuff. I don't think you can reasonably do it. Like maybe for some like the really big mods, because there's a few that were like really big ones. I think maybe the script extender would have been a good one if they were gonna pick like any of the mods to like make sure it was compatible. Like the script extender would probably be the one.
The cultures.
But I don't think it's I think on PC like I've still got my old Fallout 4 like before the patch working. It still looks great. I'm not gonna bother with the patch. You know, it didn't really affect me that much. I think it was more of a console patch than a PC patch. Is kind of the vibe I got from it. Yeah. I do think, on like if we're gonna like let's take a positive spin on this here a little bit. I do think that it's really cool that they were doing this at all. That they were taking the time to go back to a super old game like this, because it's what, like 9 years old or something. I don't actually know. Correct me please if I'm wrong on that one. It's just where it feels like, and I just saw the Billie Eilish comment in there. It's so much better than what I was thinking. I love it. Yeah. Obviously, intentionally breaking stuff is bad. I don't think it was intentional. Yeah. Just go bleed poison combo. I might do that. It does sound like a lot of fun. I feel like there's a raptor. Is it like more damage to bleeding or like poison? There's like something like you can like infect bleeding. It's like poison damage, poison chance to bleeding enemies or something like that. Oh, poison stacks right there. I'm an idiot. Slow chance per bleed. That's not the same thing. This is where I'm like, because I did most of the implementation for Raptor, and I'm like, I remember some node that did something like this, didn't it? Yeah, because I want that Fury Leap. Will we be able to pet companions in the future, like giving them carrots or a pat on the head? Oh my god, I would love to. We talked a little bit about doing some like combined idle animations with the Falcon and the Falconer and things like that. When we have a little less pressure on us for animation stuff from other things, more superfluous things that are fun, just there for fun, I think could leak in. And it's definitely stuff that we talk about and stuff that we're like, if you've got extra time, let's slip this in. And we're like, we don't have any extra time. Are you kidding me? Our damage went from a straight dumpster fire to actually not terrible. Yes. That is such a, like, obviously good note to take. Funny, someone asked about Sork. I was going to ask about Volcanic Orb skill tree rework. Been asking literally years. I mean, Volcanic Orb has a special place in my heart, and I would love to do a rework there. It's definitely lower on the list than a dozen other skills. It's because you swap skills while on the end of time. Interesting. That's why I still have the wolf, eh? Cool. The wolf's gone now, but I recently wrote up a new meteor guide, and my original idea didn't work because there's no mana on hit mod in the game. Yes, and there won't be. Any chance you could add one? Pretty please, no. Sorry. Are there plans to lock your gear when using so that a mistake is not made when clicking between items you want to scrap for prefix or affix? I don't think there's anything like that currently set, but it's a semi-frequent request that we do get. Will Warlock's Whip unique get any sort of buff? Endgame build is not well received. I have no information on potential upcoming balance changes. Sorry. Bingo! Hey, we got it. What was the last one? Did I catch up to questions? I caught up to questions too. As a reward for catching up to questions. No, it's a terrible precedent set. As a punishment for letting me catch up in questions, take it. You're gonna get a teaser spoiler. Yeah. How do you like that? Pretty terrible, isn't it? I don't know what I'm talking about. I just don't want you guys to stop asking questions, that's all. I realize I shouldn't be playing in the background, but it's just trash. Just cleaning up. But here's the thing. Some concept art. I don't even know what the last thing was that got the bingo. But we got there. That's all that matters. Should I just go through the bingo card and just start talking about other things that are on the bingo card? Stuff that you've heard a bajillion times? Oh no! I was looking over at chat. I could just see it out of the corner of my eye. I was just giving you payment for the spoiler that I put up there in my death. That's all. Hi there, and chat. Hello, Acethal, Akathal. Anyways, any chance that there will be a passive reset NPC added to the unknown moment in time after finishing an echo? No. That's like the main place we don't want it to be. Will the shaman get an elemental thunder form someday? Shaman get an elemental thunder form Sunday. That's pretty cool. The transforming is class mastery is design pillar. There's a term we use for it that I'm blanking on. I've said earlier today. Classes being unique from each other, whatever that's called, is one of our design pillars. Class identity, nailed it, first try. Class identity being a design pillar for us, having them having transforms be on like a strictly a druid thing is pretty important to us. It's possible that it could be that they could leak out into Shaman a little bit. Maybe I think that'll be fun. It'd be pretty cool. We don't have any plans for an elemental form right now. And like you say here, another form that has a ranged spell ability like Spriggan. That's actually a reason for us not to do it. Alright, how big will the next cycle be? Are you able to put it in some kind of perspective? It's tough to put it in perspective because there's still things that are like, is that going to make it or not? We're really focusing on, so like we have this pinnacle boss system, and then we're focusing on, you know, like a lot of things that came in feedback from 1.0. So it's, I guess, like, put in perspective, it is not as much like stuff and content as you would expect from a full Path of, like one of the bigger Path of Exile suite or patches. Like a large Path of Exile patch is larger than 1.1. That's about the only perspective I can give on it. Okay, more questions. Will classes builds be toned down a lot if what we've heard in the past 350 corruption to be a successful build? Are builds reaching 1 to 5k too high, or do you just want more builds to reach the 350 mark? I think both. Like if a build is getting to 4-digit corruption, we've definitely made a balancing mistake. If a build is like consistently and easily hitting 4k corruption, there is a mistake we made in the balancing, or there's a bug that's causing it to go really high. One of the two. I guess I should also qualify that with, like, this is not what we're doing when we're looking at balance. We're not simply looking at, like, saying, going to like the leaderboard and being like, hey, let's look at all the builds that are hitting 4k corruption. I know it's not leaderboards, but like we can see that information. So like oh, let's see how many people, like, what builds are hitting 4k corruption or 2k corruption, and like let's nerf the skills they're using. That's not what we're doing. We're looking at it more holistically. I just want to get this spear to be a serpent strike to be just like dealing an insane amount of dots. Just like poke something and run away. Oops. Going this way. Serpent attack speed. Yeah, frailty. We want to get frailty. That would be great. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European? would you consider a dev stream where you actually develop? For example, show us nerds the tools you process you go through when fixing or our precious skills or systems. I don't think I would be able to show any actual code from the game on stream. I'd love to. I've actually done them before. It would not be a first. There was a period like 5 years ago where I did a series of about 20-25 streams, and I was straight up just like editor open in the engine, in the code, just making changes, and we kind of got gun shy a little bit. We had some people show up that started like pumping me for information on like the game, how we did things, and you know, it felt really like, and looking back, we probably had nothing to be worried about at all. But at the time, we were still pretty new to this, and we got a little weird. It felt very like corporate espionage-esque, and so we shut that's when we just like canceled streaming altogether for like 2 years after that. Then we picked up the dev streams after that, where it was just me playing. I don't think so. I don't think we would do that. I'd love to. I think what would be really fun is actually doing like a live bug fixing hit list where it's like we try and find easy bugs to fix and just like go through them together and do them live. I think that'd be a ton of fun. I don't think we can do it. I'm sorry. But yeah, I would love to be able to just be like, all right, who's got that like that weird skill interaction that just ain't working? Let's try and fix it. And then like get in there and it's like, oh, it's gonna take me an hour, and just like skip next one, and just be like really just like quick to abandon them if there's something wrong with them. Like it's not gonna be easy. But some of them, you know, like there's a few bugs here and there that are like, well, that's gonna take 10 minutes, and half the work is in the like admin process of like making sure you've got the right like the right issue and you've done the paperwork for it, and like there's bugs that are like that. Or there's other bugs where sometimes the difficulty is actually reproducing it, where it's like I just get a bug and I'm like, and it'll just be like, this node is broken, and I'm like, okay, well let's boot up a character and let's take that node, and okay, it's working fine. There's like 40 reports of this node being broken, but all they say is this one node. It's clearly working. Okay, let's find what combination of nodes everyone has to find the common nodes that are actually causing the problem. And it's just a mess at that point. You're like trying to like predict people's builds, and I think having like a bunch of people in chat for something like that, be like, no, my build uses these nodes. Like this is what's probably doing it. Like things like that, I think would actually really help having chat around to fix things much faster. So I've actually considered doing this, where like doing this, but like doing it off camera, so like all you could see is my face, or like blurring the code somehow, or like having someone else play at the same time, and like another person just like fixing stuff in the background. I don't know. I agree. It's interesting, and it would be really cool to like sort of give it like a little bit of a look behind the curtain there, but I don't think we can do anything like that right now.
Greetings.
All right, we made it to town.
Who are you?
We're at the end of stream. It's exactly stream end right now, so I'm just gonna hammer out some more questions and then we'll be done. But yeah, we can take a look at our horrible character. We're having tons of fun playing. I'm really enjoying this one actually right now. So I'll definitely keep playing this in future streams. All right. How do you feel you are? How close do you feel you are where you won't have to fix so much from the previous season? I mean, I hope really close. I'd really like to get to the point before the end of the year, personally, where we're like, basically just ignoring everything that's come before as far as fixing, because we know it's solid. The problem is that there's always new interactions that show up. So you add an item and you're like, and this is what I was talking about earlier with like knowing what other nodes you're taking at the same time, and it's every time you add in a new node, a new item, a new affix, a new passive, a new area in the game, like they all interact with as soon as you have like different combinations. Every time you add a new thing, it adds a ton of new combinations, and there's just like the chance for things to spiral. All right, are you planning to create a whole new class in the few years? Or do you plan on developing exclusively on the current toolset of each existing class? We do plan on adding new classes. Next few years, yeah. I can say for certain there will not be any new base classes in 2024. Sorry. Community is kind of tight on the thought, don't nerf builds, boost others. I'd like your thoughts on it too, if possible. I think we're over time, and I do not have time to go into this in detail, and I'd be happy to talk in ask the devs in Discord about it more. I think the sentiment behind that statement is, I don't mean to offend anyone by saying this, I think it's very naive. I think it is idealistic and great if it were possible to do that and not cause other problems. I think that there's I think if you exclusively buff and do not nerf at all, like we're going to be putting B's next to numbers, and then T's next to numbers, and then Q's next to numbers, and then QUI's next to numbers, and then S's next to numbers. Like we're gonna be having insane damage scaling issues, like just out of control numbers getting so unbelievably mega gigantic, and it doesn't really, like the numbers being that big don't actually change anything. It doesn't matter if and this is almost why having like not having damage numbers would be a really good thing, is that we could do nerfs where like we don't have to call them nerfs. You just be like, oh, we buffed other things. You can't tell the difference, can you? We just buffed the health and everything at the same time. Great. Like if we were to, oh, that's the wrong program to open. Like if you've got this point where like here's like the health line, and here's the damage of overpowered builds and the damage of underpowered builds, and it's like, okay, well, like just bring the underpowered builds up to meet overpowered builds, and there you go. And like, okay, well, now we have a ton of overpowered builds. Okay, great. Well, bring the health up to meet the overpowered builds as well. Okay, and everything's equal now. The health's there, the overpowered and the underpowered. Well, now these overpowered builds, like if hypothetically if you didn't have damage numbers, these overpowered builds feel like they were just nerfed, even though they weren't. And so it's all exactly the same as just doing this. It's exactly the same outcome. And I'd rather not have numbers show up with billions and trillions and quadrillions and quintillions and septillions. Like I don't want to get that high. I think it's insane. I think it feels weird reading numbers that are so large when you can just have like readable numbers. Like humans, like think about what a billion liters of water is. Think about how big a billion liters of water is. I'd put money that no one here is picturing the right amount of water. Humans don't have the capacity to understand numbers that big. We just can't fathom how big that is. It doesn't make sense to our brains because we have no way of relating it to ourselves and our everyday lives. And so I don't think a strictly inflation only balancing system is long-term sustainable or good for the game. And I got way too far into that. Sorry. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to do it. Okay, a couple more here. We'll finish out a little over time. The experimental affix system is really interesting, but the pool of current affixes aren't. Is there any plan to add new affixes? Yes, I don't think there's any new ones coming in 1.1 though. Might be one or two possibly, but low if any. I was there for those streams. Oh, cool. Very cool. All right. Will there be adjustments to existing factions? Yes, especially the numbers related to boss drops where MG members can just buy boss gears. I don't have any information on specifics. Both MG and COF's rank rewards and ranks and all how that interaction happens, those are all getting some significant adjustments there. So there will be a shakeup. Every dev is cautious on sharing code, but did you consider community challenges potentially create But did you consider community challenges to potentially create no skins for the in-game shop? Like, yes. Sorry, we're over. I'm gonna move on. How about bringing on some other team members from different skill sets? Yes. And have a theme for Fridays. Absolutely. For example, art director Friday, boss fight mechanic. Yes. Super yes. We did lore chat recently. We've done lore chat twice, and it was fantastic. And I definitely want to get more. Kane and I have been talking about this a little bit recently. Yes, we're gonna get more people on. I really want to get Sam in here. I think Josh would be good to get in here. Random names of people, you have no idea who they are. I think there's a lot of cool people that I think would be a lot of fun to get in here. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for coming out, everyone. I had fun. I hope you did too. I'll be back same time, same place next week. If I didn't answer your question, I'm sorry. I try to get to all of them. I miss some of them sometimes. If you do have a question that I did not answer, please head on over to Discord. There's an AskDev channel. I'll be happy to answer it there. There's lots of other great places, people talking community, lots of community members can answer questions as well. Yeah, that'll about do it here. Boom, thanks for coming. Yeah, we'll be back same time, same place next week. We do want to get some more guests on here. If you have a guest, actually, someone just said I skipped a question. I'm like, oh no, did I actually? Sorry, next week. Completely thrown all of a sudden, getting back on track. If you have suggestions on disciplines that you would really like to, see us bring on for someone to chat with us, I'm super interested in hearing about which ones you'd like to see. Let me know. Tell me. Go to Ask the Devs and be like, Mike, you asked for this. I want to see monster design. I want to see art person. We had someone doing live 2D art at one point. It's pretty cool. Oh, here's someone going hard. Let's go say hi to them. I want to check out their build. All right. That's it. We'll see you next week. Have a great time, everybody.